Henry Ford said history is bunk.
Yeah.
You hear a lot of people
I
saying...
think Henry Ford was not pro-history, but he did some good things with cars, as far as I know. But I learned that from the history books, so there you go, Henry.
But you believe passionately, you wouldn't have devoted so much of your life to bringing back to the table so many of those greats who have gone before us. Tell us why.
Well, first of all, it was not my intent to do that. I was almost tricked into writing a biography of Wilberforce. It's really funny. I was on CNN here in the States in 2005 talking about a book of Christian apologetics I'd written called Everything You Always Want to Know About God But Were Afraid to Ask. And in the book I just mention glancingly that Wilberforce, because he took the Bible so seriously, changed the world. And the impact of the Bible on certain individuals, it just changed everything. And the interviewer on the CNN program asked me, rather than asking me about angels or demons or anything else in the book about this apologetics about Christianity, homes in on this and asks me to talk about Wilberforce. So I find myself talking about Wilberforce. Next thing I know, I get an email from a publishing house saying, "Would you like to write a biography of Wilberforce? We're coming up on the bicentennial of the abolition of the slave trade, which was 1807. And there's a movie coming out called Amazing Grace. Would you like to write a biography to come out with the movie?" And I thought, I've never, ever thought or had an ambition, really, to write a biography. None. I always say that I'm far too self-centered to want to spend that much time focused on someone else. And yet, I prayed about it. It was one of these strange things that I thought, I think I would have fun writing about that period in history. There's certain periods that are more appealing, but 18th century England, I thought this could be fun. And so I just launched into it. And I thought, I'm not an academic, but I can tell the difference between something that's true and something that's not. I have no problem with that. And so I leapt into it. And it was in the course of writing about Wilberforce and doing the research that I discovered what's in the book, which sounds like a tautology, but what I'm saying is that I didn't know very, very much about the subject. I knew the basics, that this is the man who led the battle for the abolition of the slave trade in the British Empire, that he succeeded in that, but then I discovered how much more there was, how much deeper it went, all of the other players involved, the role that Christian faith played in this whole group, the Clapham Circle, as I call them. And it's amazing because when you look at the facts through a Christian lens, or I should say that, I bring my own worldview to the table, and I thought, other books on Wilberforce have not done the Christian influence any measure of justice. There would be no Wilberforce, there would be none of this, there would be absolutely none of it without the dramatic faith. I mean, this was not, surface faith. Dramatic faith of people like William Wilberforce. And so it's not that I really meant to bring that out in the book, but it just came out naturally. I thought this is extremely obvious now that I'm looking at the facts. And what's also extremely obvious is that Great Britain was profoundly pagan. I mean, we think that because you are officially that Great Britain's officially a Christian nation, that they behave in a Christian way. Well, Wilberforce put the lie to that. He said, no, no, no. If we're Christians, we must do this and this and this and this. So he sort of forced them to take their nominal Christianity a little bit more seriously. But none of that was known to me. And so, of course, having written that book, it kind of sucked me into conversations on history and then questions about whom I will tackle next, assuming that now I'm going to write historical biographies for the rest of my life or something like that. So it really wasn't something that I planned, but having gotten into it, yes, it now strikes me as extremely valuable. One of the most important things we can do is learn history. So with apologies to my fellow American Henry Ford, he was wrong.